Or it appears that the simulator has started and recorded the Twitch is up and running. Recorded being recorded, so now it's time to start this thing. It's a town dog, and I'm back here on Little Island, Hawaii. I'm at a city called Kunakui, Kunakui, or something like that. Anyway, and the airport name is Panda. Now the plane I'm in, is, of course I change planes pretty well every day now. Here we are, and we're in this little. It is a ERC or Echo, Aircrow, uh, Air Coupe 415C. Now it appears not to have any flaps. I had got any set in it. I can't get nothing to operate on it, so apparently it don't have flaps. And it's a low wing, a little bubble cockpit there. Got an H tail, and it's got fixed gear with skirts on it or pain shoes, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, here we are, and we're sitting at a little airport called Panda, and the city is named what I just said a while ago, Kunakua, Kuriki, Nakui. Anyway, I don't know how to say that. Never did. Don't think I ever would. Anyway, uh, the runway that we're going to take off on, we're going to be runway 7, and we're going to leave here, and I'm going to set up a VOR off of this runway. Off of the, it's not a runway, it's on a mountain out there behind me here. But we're going to fly from this island here over to Honolulu. Now I'm gonna try to use the VOR off this island until I get to Honolulu. Even though Honolulu would come on right now and I can fly straight to it, but it still wouldn't take me to where I was headed because I'm headed to Fort Island, which is there on Honolulu. No problem to get to. But I'm gonna fly to the VOR and out of it to get to Fort Island. And this little plane don't get in a hurry to about 120, 130, I think. But that's pretty, ain't bad. And it's only about 40 something miles, just under 50 miles. So it shouldn't take too long. Give me a cup of coffee here and a glass of water. Drinking it. Got me a big bowl of beans made. I hadn't eaten none yet, but I'm getting ready to. Beans with hog jaw. As a Tennessee meal. Anyway, we're going to leave here and do this. Let's get this little plane started if we can. Now, I'm going to get into the virtual cockpit because I don't have a fuel throttle on the other. I don't think I got any pop-up throttle either. Hey, we got some stuff I could be doing, but I ain't going to do all that. I hadn't. There shows stuff, pop up. There's the name of the plane, everything right there. I didn't even know that was in there. It's the first time I pushed it. I hadn't flew a plane. This plane I hadn't flew a lot. The others I have. This is a sort of a new plane I've had a good while, but I just set it up and flew it around a bit. And I ain't flew it no more. Not that I can remember. But anyway, there's a pop up to it. Of course, that comes up with that. I don't know what all this is. This is just something they got in there to pop up. But I use X amount of pop ups. Then them left over, I try to use some of what they had in it, especially for stuff that I could use. Now, see, it shows that small old GPS. That's not in it. I've got that GPS right there, 500, which is not even the original. It's been reworked and redone by some people long years ago. And it's got some extra features in it to really help you out when you get in trouble. Now, I'm going to go back to where I was because I don't need to be here. There you go. Let's get rid of that if we can. It's there somewhere. It should go away. Just switch one of the other bits ain't going away. How am I supposed to get rid of that now? What's this close the whole darn thing? No, that's it. It should close, but it didn't just go come up, change windows. Probably got an exit on it. I didn't see it. I didn't look for it. Anyway, we're sitting here and we're in. This is a 2D. I gotta bring it up. It should be right there. There we go. Uh, now we go back to here like I was talking about, and it's got a mixture valve. And it has to be red, so set that. The rest of them will do from the other panel, because I just like my panel better than I do this one. There we go, that's my panel. I built this panel, took a picture print of the original cockpit, took all the stuff off of it, repainted it back to make sure it stayed the same color or pretty well. Added all this stuff on it myself. It didn't come with it. Made my own bite map and laid everything out on it. Set it up as a 2D cockpit. Probably didn't even have one when I started, to be honest with you. I think I built this myself. Almost certain I did. Just looks like my work. And I could be wrong. I can go back to my records and find out, because I've got a picture of it in my picture file. It's mine. Where I did the cutout on it. It don't really look like it's been cut out, though. It might have. A little bit jaggy. It might be, I believe it does too. A little jaggy along where it's cut there, right along top of the panel, between the panel and the scenery. And I usually when I cut out, it'll come out just a little jaggy if you ain't careful. Ain't much you can do about it, actually. Now, we got this. Let's get this thing started. Too much chatter, not enough flying. So let's see if we can get something going here. Fuel right. That's right. Everything's supposed to be ready. It's ready. There we go. Up and running. Throttle set. It always comes on loud, drops off. That's just the way they got the sound set up on it. But it's still running. That's all that matters. Now we're going to turn. We don't need no heat. We don't need that. Probably don't need no carb heat. But it's probably plenty warm out here. It's 58 degrees outside here, it says. That's pretty cool for Hawaii, I imagine. Now, our fuel is, we've got 20 gallons, but that should carry this plane a long ways. That's full tanks, I'm sure, because I hadn't changed it. Now, let's get this thing to the runway. And well, first thing I'm going to do is, before I even try this, I've got a radio stack on the panel. I'll just use it. And I've got a VOR here on this island. The VOR is 11610. That's this island here, I do believe. One zero. I believe it'll come on as soon as I hit it. It did. And I'm gonna put the same thing on this other, so I'll have a direct pointer to it. Alright. That came on too. Alright, we got that. Now I'm gonna leave here. This airport is grass. 2 runways. 725. Altitude 250 feet. They're 1950 feet long. And like I said, I'm gonna leave here on a heading of, it says 325 is what I figured out it to be. So let's set this on 325. I hope it ain't backwards. I'm pretty sure I checked it, but you know how that goes. It's gonna be out runway heading, ain't just about it. So no, it says out. Well, I'm setting not out runway heading. I'm not setting on runway. Come think of it. There we go, 325. I'm gonna set. I'm gonna set on airspeed whether I use it or not. Set about 110. Now I'm not gonna worry about the heading boost at this point. Get rid of that. I don't need that right now. We got one on the panel. And Let's get this thing to the runway. We'll set the others up on the way. Now this thing ain't no flap, so it ain't got a short field takeoff pattern. This thing got, like I said, low wing, got a little bubble cockpit, and it's got an ace tail. And I'm on runway 7, and I'm going to take off. Got a little mountain in front of me, that might not be a good idea. We passed now? Oh yeah, we flying. We alright too. The mountain ain't gonna be that too. There ain't no mountains at the little hilltop. And I'm gonna go back into 2D. It had a good view to it too, so too much climb. Get that nose down a little bit. Out along in there somewhere. And we want to head. We got a vertical speed indicator. I actually don't see one. Somebody wouldn't hurt my head, I imagine. I got the horizon, but I could use a vertical speed indicator. I don't see one nowhere. Now, I'm a little bit fast on this thing. Got the throttle running about half wide open. Alright, we'll set her right along there. If we want to head out, like I said, on the heading of, let's turn this thing into that right there. Turn into that heading, we'll line up on that VOR and fly it out. Whether we use the autopilot or not, we want to get into the direction on this thing. And the VOR is slightly right, almost off on the right wing right now. But if we'll be flying that way right there, it'll move around. Now if I set the autopilot, I could actually, I've just set the trim, I ain't set the autopilot. Climb a little more here. Let's see what we got around us here. We don't fly that little hill over. I think we'll clear everything now. Close enough we can see the squirrels and trees though, if you got squirrels in Hawaii. I don't know. Only been to Hawaii one time, that was on the way to Vietnam. I only spent a minimum amount of time. I don't think they're allowed to leave the terminal. Get this little flight done. Got to get out, get in yonder to get some food. Cooked them beans a little bit last night, beans up this morning. Big pot of beans. She may be making some cornbread over it, I hope. Now let's go back inside. Don't want to use that pop-up right now. I'm actually high enough. I'm only 1,000 on, maybe not. Maybe I could use a little more. Let's set these instruments, calibrate, there we go. Now, we ain't got any problem with the water now. We're plenty high for that now, that's for sure. Put a little small climb on this thing and let's continue to climb real slow. I'm gonna set the altitude. I'm not gonna turn the altitude on right now, but I'm gonna set it so I decide to be ready. About 2,500, something like that, be all up for this plane. It keeps the wheels dry, that's all I'm after. It would fly quite a bit higher, but I don't care to go there. Higher or high, you gotta go up, you gotta come back down. Now we're looking at a distance off the VOR behind us is 6 miles. I believe if I remember correctly, it's about 40, 45 miles across here. I want to keep moving toward that localizer bar, sort of north, be pretty well, so that I can get over to the line on the VOR. See if we can keep this thing going. Get outside and see where we at for the terrain is concerned. A bunch of water leaving the island. Hopefully we go in the right direction. Normally it should be pretty close. Actually, the island over yonder. Oh. Well, I'll tell you what I can do. I can do a quick check here. That's what we're looking at. Maybe I got my numbers wrong. I do. I am wrong. Let me go back and look at my book and see if I just read it wrong. I'm going the wrong way. There ain't no way to be. Well, I'm also moving over on it. Wait a minute, wait. I'm fixing to turn due to that first one, not due to what I looked at here. Let's see if we can get this thing turned into that and then see what we look like. It ain't over quite enough. It's still gonna be wrong what I do believe. I might have wrote it down wrong when I done it. That's all I see here. That's probably the wrong one. I would have a good up here somewhere. I don't see it. I would have another 270. Is that what I put that on? Alright, I got one up here. That's the last. That's the other one. I don't have them separated now. I got them mixed up. 270 is what I was supposed to be reading here. I've got it wrote here in my book. I just glanced down. That's off the other VOR to Port Island. The 270 is hell, that's dead east. Now let's get that look better. I was going the wrong way because I read the book wrong, not because I had the information wrong. I read my information different from what I should have. Hold on a minute. Now, I'm going wrong now on purpose to get back over to my line. I was flying away from the line I should have been flying to. I still want to line that line. The 270 is what I want now with the 325 is off the VOR at Honolulu, going to Port Island. Now, I've got, like I said, another VOR for Honolulu, which I already knew that, but I wrote it down here, but I both already know it. It's 1480, 11480. I'll just do it outside the plane. Get prepared for it, so when I get there, I'll have it. Now, this is going to be already on. I could use it, fly into it and out of it, but I wanted to use one behind me going out. I didn't want to use it. Been more safer if I used this. I wouldn't be going the wrong way to start off the bat. That's my mistake on the reading of it. It wasn't that I had it wrong. I just read the wrong number first. But if I flew out the ocean around fuel, that would have been bad news in real life, wouldn't it? Hopefully I'd had enough sense to see it there too. I could see the island from where I was at anyway. I'm still wanting to line these lines a little. I'm gonna bring this back around now to where I'm headed. I need to get over a little bit of flying too fast that way. Make my way toward that island a little more. Give me about a 30-degree angle of attack or so, 30, 35, 40. That right there should give me an angle of attack that'll get me over there. Just a minute. She also picks some peas. She's going to eat some peas. Oh, she thinks she just turned my beans back on. She must not call them dumb that cooked all the pieces. The way I cooked them, they come apart without cooking, I think. So, what you talk about? They taste pretty good to me. I done checked them for crispy, and they just seem like they're about mashy, right? Now, I don't want to climb a whole lot. I ain't paying attention or go down either one. Go inside here. It's a very slow climb, but I'm only up to, well, I'm looking at the wrong thing. That's still a slow climb though, but I'm only up to 2,000 feet. I'm not hurting nothing. Nose down one click. Nose down another click. Now it's going to drop. I know it's going to fall. I don't want the nose to fall. I want it to stay more or less level. Now I'm going down faster than I was going up. I did hit that button. Trim, bring it back. Don't look bad there. Get rid of these windows. We don't need them inside. Alright, I'll climb back up a little again, start to climb again. These planes, most of them bad about that. You set the trim and it'll change just a little. Most times due to your speed. As you gain speed, they change. I hadn't touched throttle in quite a while. Obviously, the speed's climbing. That means the plane will probably, plane's falling, the speed's climbing. It'll probably reverse, start back to climbing at kind of speed. Now, look outside again, see what we got around us. Where's our bar? Alright, our bar's coming down. Let's turn this plane into the bar. But I don't want to overshoot it too much. I want to get headed toward the airport now. The bar on HSI is a line itself. I could use a little more on it, really. Here we go. Now, we're better shape right now. Now, VOR is right over the first runway at Honolulu Airport. That's where the VOR is located. Just on that first little island there, somewhere along there, where that first airport runways are at. Fuel level extremely low. You mean that 20 gallon ain't gonna make? Oh, somebody lying. I'm showing 19 gallon. It says both tanks there. I said both are at the top. I know what it says. Even though I got two or not. It said fuel level extremely low, but it's showing I got 20 gallon. And I assumed 20 gallon was full. But 4 gallon an hour is all I'm burning. Only use 1 gallon. little detail thing there. I didn't need that. This thing runs out of fuel, gonna surprise me. It would in real life too. A lot of get a little hot. When that fan out front, you know that fan out there, all this parts to keep your pallet cool. If you don't believe it, you watch him get hot when it starts, when it quits. You start sweating real quick like. When that cooling fan gets stops, he starts getting a little on the excited side more. Now, I can set NALF 2 on Honolulu, and the VOR is right there. As we get in our closer, I'll fly into that VOR. Right now I'm using this one. I'm using HSI NAV 1 off the VOR behind me to guide me in here toward it. See, my line is right there, and it's just 5 degrees off. All I gotta do is get in sight of that runway, and I know where the VOR is sitting on it roughly. Which then I can use the green one to go to it. I'm gonna fly out of it. On the heading, I see it. As I get up on it, I'll set it back to where a heading was on the other one, which was, hey, I'm about to get in the water. I'm only 1,000 feet. Well, playing the directions for where I lost my altitude. Plenty high for when I get there, but I wasn't quite there. So I didn't set the autopilot. Well, as I was turning, it got off on its trim and pitched down. It'll do it every time. That's where you're supposed to watch the indicators. And where are we at? Let me see. Everything looks fine here. We're 18 miles off the airport behind us and 25 miles off the VOR in front of us, it says. Yep. So we're not halfway yet. Now if I set this autopilot, I won't have to worry about it. It's 120 what I'm setting on. We'll set it on 120. Whoa. My hand got moved. I was doing up and all once I'm going down. 20. We'll get the altitude at, I don't need 2,000, I don't need 2,500. I don't really need that. About 1,500 is all we need now. As long as we stay outside that mountain there and don't have to cross it, we'll be alright. Now what I can do now is turn this on. And it'll fly that localizer. It's gonna make a little turn or two, but it's gonna line up on that localizer and fly out leg. Just like I got it set more or less. Alright. That's got the VOR now. The NAV 2 VOR on the green needle. They're showing it closer in front of me now. 21, 23, we're 1 mile off of halfway. Now we can look around without worrying about dipping in the water. There you go, she just leveled off. Hop over here from this airport to that one. Showing off my little plane. Like I said, I've had it a long time, but I haven't flown it very little. But these changes I make to them, the fellow I used to fly with, he called it railized. All of our flight simulator planes back then was railized. Then he went to 2020. I didn't go to 2020. I've got it. I fly it a little. Don't care about it. Don't allow enough changes first thing. planes don't handle like the old ones did. They say it's supposed to be better, but I don't. Some of them ain't better. I guarantee that. In fact, when it first came out, the reason I quit using it, it didn't handle better. It didn't handle right at all. It wouldn't even half fly. People had to keep playing with the plane, just keep in the air. And the autopilot, you couldn't manually set it at all back then. I think you can a little down. But I don't use the FMC. I never use one. Not planning on starting right now. I may fly Simulator X from now on. I sure don't feel on about FMCs. Now I have got into some of those 2020 planes that's got a selector that you can go through and set them up off the selector, and I've done a little of that. Don't care much for it. A little Cessna fly is fairly decent, somewhat like the others did. I handle them pretty good. Cessna 172, handle it pretty good. But I still like this one here better. Now the scenery may be a little better than it, but a lot of things, a lot of problems you had with this FSX, they caused a lot of their own problems. Planes crashing, similar crashing stuff. Similar was designed not to run those high memory files. So if you run them, you're going to crash the simulator after sooner or later. Flight Simulator X was designed to crash automatically. If it loads 3 gig at one time, it's supposed to crash. Crash it back to desktop. That's a built-in feature. So if you put all that scenery in and go to flying around these high scenery areas, you're going to have a problem now. If I get into a big jet, and I set this scenery that I've got in ordinarily, I've got a little bit of add-on scenery, but nothing I'm in right now. It's all around little local small airports. And if you get in there and fly, when I bought this machine, I set everything on also took off, and I flew a couple thousand miles in a 747 or something. And as I come into landing, I was getting that beeper saying that she was running out of memory. Well, I knew what it was. I done flew a long way, ultra high scenery, and it was done. The scenery that I had set was higher, and it was designed to run, even though it was a stock scenery. It was telling me I was running out of memory. I managed to get landed. I flew from, I think, Memphis, Tennessee, or somewhere around there, up to Goose Bay, Canada. And as I was trying to land, I went in and rolled everything back about one quarter scenery on some of the high stuff. I had very little trouble since. I've only crashed probably 4 or 5 times at the most since I had this new computer that I say new, it's 4 years old now, but when I got it new, I crashed it on purpose because I wanted to know what it would do. I was hoping it handled it, but the simulator, it ain't the computer wouldn't handle it, the simulator wouldn't handle it. A lot of times, my machine crashed, the machine didn't crash, the simulator crashed. And most times it's because of add-on scenery. Biggest part of the time. Alright, let's see where we at. Alright, the VOR is off to my right. And I can see how far right here. I'm 29 miles off the one behind me and 14 off the one in front of me. What I guess I need to do is head to that VOR in front of me. So what I'm going to do is bring this right here up. Switch VORs. Then I'm going to bring up my autopilot. Still got low fuel, and I ain't low fuel. Need to find out. It's got the low thing set on it wrong. I need to find that. I'll take it off. We won't warn you at all. Alright, now I want to turn this. Well, I don't change that. I want to turn this here. I'm going to set this and turn this into the airport. Not the airport, into the. I'm going to bring this around for the VORs. straight on top. Now one, green needle, straight up is what I want to bring me into the VOR. If when that VOR turns around, that's when I change over to the direction to Fort Island. A couple more clicks there won't hurt it. That's looking pretty good. Now bring us around to where I had it a while ago. 325. That was this leg I was setting up wrong. There you go right there. Now that is the out leg to carry me to Fort Island, which I should be able to see time I get to this 11 miles into this. I don't want to fly into one of these buildings in front of me. 1,500 feet should clear them. Might not. Don't think they're that tall. And the airport I'm going to is only 18 feet above sea level. All these other airport burners not that high. Once I get past this little bump in front of me, the buildings are in the clear for sure. Let me know all this coffee. Stop me with some beans a little bit. Get this flight done, download it back to YouTube. Now, I don't know, I'm doing these on Twitch, and oh, and I meant to date it too when I started. I didn't do it. Today is right there. Okay, on taskbar. 7/14/22, and it is. Get that right. Read it. 11:53 a.m. Getting running toward 12 o'clock. The mail should run around 11:30. I hadn't checked. Waited after 12 to go out there and check on it. Try to make sure it runs well, and then I'll make one trip to the box. It's only 150 feet, but it's hot out there. You don't have to, right? Need to be out getting some mows ready. Time to mow the grounds again. Get that 5 or 6 acres or so ready to mow again. Need to get that cover off that old mower. I got a new mower, but I'll keep it over in good shape. The cover a little bit dirty or something. It had to put on me a time or two. It acts like it's fuel. So, itself is in pretty good shape, even though I got 450 hours on it. That ain't fun. It's a lot for a little mower, I guess. Only got about 20 something on mine, under 30. Fuel says I'm low fuel. I ain't low fuel. The Control X, that's to gas it up automatically. I'm not low fuel. I done proved that right there. Right there, I got 18 gallons. Fuel flow 4 gallons per hour. 18 gallons, I've only burnt 2 gallons. I'm not hurting for fuel. And that thing don't lie to you. The only way it lied to you, I had extra tanks, and I was on the wrong tank. I'm on both. That should be all of them. No matter how many tanks it got. 2's the most they could have, one in each wing, I think. Well, it could have a better tank. I can check all that. That ain't no problem. I could even check right here for that. It should be full. 20 for all the holes. Now, we'll put these back up. I'm outside the plane. I can look around outside the plane, but with these I can tell where I'm at without having to go inside. That's the reason I put them there. I can fly outside the plane, go anywhere I want to go, and know where I'm at by using the gauges and the numbers. Alright, like I say, when we get to that VOR, that out leg, if I pass to the right hand side of it, automatically turn. If I wanted to, but it don't have to. I can fly ahead and go again now. We're 3 miles off the VOR. So we're getting ready to turn to that 325 heading, which will carry us to Port Allen, which I think I already sealed beyond. We'll buzz it a couple times and we'll land. This is Honolulu right here. Still 3.1, 3 miles exactly. There you go, 29. That VOR is probably that little blinking light right there on that runway in front of me. It's probably the VOR. If not, it's out there somewhere on this island right here, I do believe. Going straight to it, this is. When that green arrow starts turning around, I'm going across the top of it. 2 miles. That's about a half mile. I'm gonna make this turn. Still straight in front of me. Mile and a half. And maybe a little further out than that right there I was talking about. It's right here somewhere. It looks like it down there. That's it right there. Sure enough, right there under me. I'm going to make my turn. Whoa, wrong button. Bring us around now. I said half, but that's good enough right there. That is it down there. There's where I'm going to turn to. There's Port Allen right there across that first chug of water. And that's how it's done right there. I recognize the spot. You don't need no navigation anymore. Cut the altitude off. Cut everything off. Take this stuff out of my way. How slow this thing will fly, or how big the full of the engine can get. I want to get down toward this waterway and look at that. Landmark over there. There used to be a carrier here that you can land on, but it's not here no more. They took it out. I think there's one that actually floats somewhere. That actually travels. If not, it's on. It would be in one of those, in the other simulator. But they took this out, and there was nothing off another island where the military base out there about 10 miles out in the water. It even had a on Flight 98. It had a. This one of them had the elevator. It also had an ILS. All right, here we go now. I don't want this thing to get too slow and sink into the water with me. I don't have any outside indicators on speed and stuff. There's that memorial shipwreck. There's in front of it. There's the tariff on that smoke stack or tariff on that boat. Now we're going to take this thing into land here in a minute. I could check see if that bridge is open. Tried that no yonder that day, the other day, and it didn't open. These right here might. I don't remember. I really don't remember. Little RPMs here. This thing might. I decided I don't want to fly due to my turning to the shark. So I'm losing lift all the water. Those plenty high there. Look over there. Bring it back around. Airspeed is still pretty fast. It's still pretty high too. Well, I don't remember. Look there. There we go, right there. There we go. We at Fort Island, but we on the bridge. About that. We did it that time. Wasn't sure where it landed on or not. Alright. There's a memorial. I think I'm gonna call it right there for this one. And that's what we're gonna call it right there. That's down though, and I'm gonna go on bye bye and I'll catch y'all later. That's all for now.